Okay, this is harness routing for the Locomotors Rally Fighter Gen 2 car. So basically you've got two fuse blocks up here, your battery side and ignition side, and then your GM fuse blocks in the back. And we're just going to go through some of the terminations and connectors. So the majority of the wires from the motor are going to come in through the firewall and the tubs in the back of the heat shield here. You're going to have to cut a hole and route everything. You're not going to use the pre-cut holes that were in the heat shield on the tub. You can just seal over those when you're finished. So in through here, this is going to carry everything from your throttle, your brakes, all your sensors and senders, your PCM, and your transmission sub-harness. So immediately you've got security module. Pay attention because this is the instrument cluster connector. This is going to be the exact same connector as the security module, but the wiring is a little bit different. So easiest way to distinguish the two is on the dash. You've only got one pink and one purple wire. On the security module, you've got multiple pinks and multiple purples. Working our way over, you've got your manual shift connector. This gets hooked up to one of the connectors on your transmission sub-harness, whether you've got the 3 or 4 speed. If you've got the 3 speed, you've also got a kick-down cable that gets hooked up to the throttle. It's 2-pin, 2 orange wires, and again, that's only for the vacuum modulated 3-speed. If you've got the 4-speed, just coil that up. You don't even have to hook it up, just move it out of the way. And then there's a third connector for the 485E, and that's the bulkhead connector. You can see it's that purple 16-pin connector back here, that guy right there, so you're also going to hook that up. Also for the 485E, there is a laptop calibration 3-pin connection that you need to keep accessible. You can just kind of tie it up behind the gas pedal and just make sure you can get to it. And that's going to be used for programming the PCS module on the transmission for your shift points and your shift programs. So from there, you've got, this is the only part of the loom that's going to be unterminated. This is for the Dakota Digital. So you've got pink for power, 2 grounds. Your green is going to be your input, orange is going to be your output. You're always going to put that into output 3 on the Phoenix connector. Okay, so from there, we've already gone over the dash and the security module. You can see that there's a ground strap right there on the bracket for the steering column. And then you're going to have a couple different gray and black connectors that are going to be for the Ford steering column. So this is going to be for your wiper stock and turn signal stock. Your ignition switch is going to slide in here, and everything's pretty self-explanatory. It all only fits one way. You've got one long guy with a white connector on here. It's going to be 5 pins. This is for the headlight switch and your running lights. That's going to get mounted into the kick panel. And then from there you've got your accelerator pedal hookup. You've got a brake switch. It's also a 2-pin, but it is a different connector. 2 orange wires, but just pay attention to that. You'll hook that into the brake switch. And then there's a part of the loom that's going to route out of the cab and then in through the door jamb, and that's going to power your speakers and your door locks and latches and windows, and that's for both the driver and passenger side. From there you've got a yellow cable that's going to be for your coax radio signal on the head unit, and then the head unit's got its own proprietary harness that'll hook up to the chassis harness, and that's pretty self-explanatory as well. And then the other side of that harness is going to route out, and you've got a couple connectors for the AC evaporator box and blower motor, and then there's a set of dual leads in the passenger side corner that's going to be for an auxiliary power, whether it's lights or a GPS unit, and you can just kind of tie those out of the way and use those at a later date. And then same thing on the driver's side, you've got your loom that goes out of the cab and in through the door jamb.